What's up, Poke Nerds, Digidogs, and everything in between? Hey, it's Eddie from Eddie's Emporium, and welcome to episode 12 of the Beyond the Booster vlog. It's lovely to see you all, as always, for the weekly update. So, what's been happening this week in Eddie's Emporium in the world of TCG? So, at the moment, obviously, WhatNot is a really big sales platform for me, so I've been getting to grips with learning and experimenting in way to incentivize and reward people for obviously, purchasing cards, obviously enjoying the time round, and obviously, doing giveaways. So at the moment I've spent, the best part of like a day and a half doing like giveaways, obviously each card in here with a specific ratio and reward, like every X amount of sales that we make. Obviously for the buyers, I've made it within, let's just say every 10 buyers, them 10 buyers will get entered into a roll. They'll be able to pick from anywhere from here to here, obviously just say when, and they'll be able to win a prize, holographics, booster packs, even slabs in there that I feel that you can win. Obviously there is a ratio into which, you have to make sure you're still not hemorrhaging money, part of the business, but also it's a good way to incentivize buyers, I feel, but also reward people for staying in the stream and, getting along with everyone, chatting. And also putting in things like, like buy it now functions for some of the stock I've already got. Now, it is a bit of a balancing act because obviously I'm managing inventory through my Shopify store. That obviously means you don't want to sell something, say I've got one booster pack left of, X pack, don't sell it on my eBay or my Shopify store, and then someone buy it on WhatNot. Creates a very poor experience for the customer that bought it second. So obviously learning ways to combat that, but yeah, building out templates and whatnot and everything like that has been fun. Bit admin heavy, but I think it'll be worth it, especially when the streams come. So if you are watching and you're interested, I'll put a WhatNot link below where you can get £10 free credit for whatever you want to pay for in WhatNot. Obviously, it doesn't have to be my stream. It could be any stream in particular. I think all you have to do is pay for shipping. I think it's about $2.70 if you buy like a card or a pack. So that's not part of the credit though. So just FYI, I don't want you coming for me in the comment section. But on that note, tomorrow or today, a recording. So Wednesday, 8:15, the 8th, I'm doing a WhatNot show. So if you do want to use that credit for something, use it on my show. If you want to support Eddie from Eddie's Emporium, that's me. Be lovely to see you. Pop your head through and say hi and let me know kind of what you're after, what you're interested in. It's always a great way to connect with the community and just chat. Even if you want to just come in, not buy anything, and just have a good time. It's always welcome. I'm usually playing some like chill lo-fi, nothing too heavy. I feel sometimes you go into a stream and it's like heavy metal blaring. It creates a bit of a chaotic atmosphere. So I'm a bit more on the chill side, dad jokes, you'll be rolling your eyes in no time. I've also got things like the Tarkir booster boxes coming, so they'll be on my site soon. Obviously started to invest in Magic the Gathering stock. That's something I'm leaning more into now, the more I'm actually starting to play it myself. I had my first Commander game, it was about 2 weeks ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm currently looking at buying a dinosaur deck. So it's great because while I've never been a Magic fan, growing up, that is, it really is an enjoyable game to play now. So the more I can actually stock and supply it, the more I'm actually getting into it, because obviously I'm speaking to people who are massive fans of it that shop at my store now. So that's really fun for me, personally. So I'm seeing this is a bit of a weird one because it'll probably divide the room. I'm seeing in the TCG world, there's more influencers now having to put disclaimers up for when they kind of do that, great picks, 5 illustration rares under £5, because the community is so jaded with, pump and dumps, rip and ships. You get so many negative things now. Everyone's doing it for, creating the Boogamew and trying to market cards and reference them as specific cards, like how the Bubble Mew was because it's from the same artist, and raise the price because of that and then sell all the ones they've got. Now, it's a bit sad for me as a business owner, TCG fan, to see these content creators who equally got big on their platforms suddenly having to put disclaimers out for doing what got them there in the first place. The reason why, you followed them. I can't understand why the community would turn on the people that are kind of like trying to support the creativity, the areas, Wallamoose is a really good example of this. I think that's probably the video that probably sparked most, like, kind of like, oh, what's going on, guys? Because he does it for the sheer love of Pokemon, as many content creators do, and it's the minute few that a lot of the ones that you don't see actively trying to pump and dump to your face in content creation, because it's a surefire way just to lose your entire audience. These are people who are operating in big Discord servers, they have malicious intent in my eyes, and I'm saying that as a TCG fan who wants everyone to be able to get packs at retail and just have a good time and not have to deal with all this. But yeah, I don't know what your feeling is, but I just feel that the negative feedback of the internet and the community at the moment really is undeserved for some people. Like, it takes the joy out of short form media when you kind of see the whole, like, five things, but read the caption before you make a judgment. And it's literally almost like a T's and C's disclaimer that I'm not doing this to pump and dump. I've not bought any. Guys, even if he had, it's a choice and things like that, but we're not able to influence this in the way that we want to. Let's not kill the reason why we all love it as well, because these are the small few creators that are keeping the hobby kind of afloat from an enjoyment side. Like, I personally watch them all the time. I've never once thought a person was ever doing malicious intent, and you probably don't until it happens, but usually you kind of know when there are, like, bad eggs out there. But that's my 2 pence on it. So there has been also, semi TCG note here. Obviously, Pokemon related, Digimon have released their new game on the same month of Legends Z-A, and like, I'm a Digimon and a Pokemon fan. I'm a current Pokemon fan. I'm a previous Digimon. I'm not going to say lover because that's probably the wrong word. But I grew up with Digimon just as much as I did Pokemon with the original Adventure series and everything like that. And I'm just hyped to see the market kind of become a bit more competitive again. I'm not going to say I'm team one or the other. I'm just going to make an honest review of kind of what I feel like. I cancelled my Switch 2 pre-order with ZA because I just didn't feel that, firstly, I had the content to play. There's tons of Switch 2 games that I love, but if I'm honest, the IPs that I predominantly play on Nintendo are your Pokemons and so on. But I feel that Digimon have really kind of upped it a step, because from what I've seen from Time Stranger and the reviews that they're getting, it seems so positive, and I really hope that this is a successful thing, because I'd love to see just Digimon come back into the scene, not even just to show Pokemon what's what. I just think they're a fantastic brand, and it's just really cool what they do. And if you've not watched the new Digimon adventure series where they've remade it in the modern age, it just shows how applicable it is today. And they are really trying. Bandai just obviously haven't always had the best way of delivering these. Well, no, it's probably the wrong way to say it. Sometimes Japanese content doesn't translate very well, especially in the gaming mechanics to the West. Obviously, you've got really good exceptions for that, but it looks really cool, and I can't wait to play it. And there will be a few people that will always just prefer one thing or the other. But let's just appreciate that we both got Digimon and Pokemon back in the same sentence. Like, that's so cool. I love it. So I'm not sure how truthful this is, but I think it's worth just chatting about, because it's quite interesting for me as a store owner and seeing another store potentially do this, or stores. So I'm just reading this, right? So I've seen some stores do a sealed versus unsealed pricing scheme on their site, or at least this was reported by, I believe it's Card Catch Quest on TikTok when I was scrolling by. And he reported that this store was sort of saying, you know, you can get an unsealed ETB for £50, and you can get the sealed ETB for 120. Now, obviously, this is to combat scalpers, in theory. So bear with me this one, because I'm not agreeing with the pricing myself, but I'm agreeing with the concept, because Japan do this a lot, and they've had quite a lot of success with it. So if you're in Japan and you're on release, obviously retailers like, let's just say Smith's Toy Superstore in Japan, you go there, buy a booster box, they'll rip the booster box, or like, you know, Pokemon Center in Japan, they'll tear the booster box seal, so it'll become unsealed. It's not in the plastic wrapping anymore. And obviously, to the eyes of people buying it, that devalues it from a resale perspective. Now, I agree with that happening in the UK on the basis that people can't buy up tons of sealed stock and then dump it on the secondary market with inflated prices. It does suck for sealed collectors, I will say that, but I do think that there is something there. I don't think that's the finished article, that whole pricing scheme. I think that's a bit too crazy. There is obviously the worry that would inflate even more the sealed market than it already is. But if people don't care about buying sealed, and, you know, I'm really sorry, sealed collectors, you are the minority in that situation. The greater good is you could get a sealed booster box, or sorry, an unsealed booster box for retail price, and scalpers might stay away from it because the resaleability of that is not as efficient. And then the higher pricing, while I don't agree with it from a store, that's just me, you can then get the ability to probably not get them selling that up, or at least marking it for enough that they can justify a profit, or someone would justify buying it. Because right now, something needs to change, and I think it's almost not possible for Pokemon to put something in place to make that work. Some stores are doing it, but I do think that's a really good initial thought on how to combat it. Now, I don't know what I would do, or if I'm going to do anything like that. I definitely obviously can't get hold of Pokemon, so this is one reason why I'm kind of covering it, because I'm obviously not going to be called, you know, shilling X, Y, and Z, because like many other stores, I can't get hold of it. So it's an interesting one. But let me know what you think in the comment section, because I feel like that would divide a room, because you do have quite a few people feeling strongly about having sealed stuff or authenticity. But if you're seeing it there, and you're there in person, watching that get unsealed, would you have a problem with that? Because I don't think I would as a collector. And I'm speaking pure as a collector that just wants to open up packs. You know, that's your booster box. You've seen it sealed. Someone's just unzipped it a tiny bit. So when you get home, you finish it off. Now, where it could get dodgy is people doing pre-unsealed stuff. That's where I would probably be a bit worried. But if very much like you get it plonked on the counter, sealed, and then you get unzipped, I think that's cool. Yeah, but let me know in the comment sections what you think. And that's the end of this week's Beyond the Booster vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a lovely week. You're getting over that hump day. And if you do want to join me on that WhatNot stream, I'll put the link in below where you can get free £10 credit for the stream, and join me at 8:15. And yeah, we'll just have some fun, have some laughs, and I'll catch you there. Ciao.